in home runs, and we are underway. Lindsey Grine gets the start for Virginia Tech, facing Sarah Beth Allen.
Well, Grine coming in as a sophomore this season, she added velocity and is most consistent at 70 miles an hour. It is tough to touch her up.
Sarah Beth Allen averaging career highs in just about every offensive category as she leads off for this Georgia Tech team. But Jen Saleo, look what she's hitting in conference play at 383. Last year, she didn't even hit 200 for the season. Whole new coaching staff for Eileen Morales, and boy, the numbers, especially offensively, are showing it.
When you're seeing heat coming out of the circle, you don't want to see that bullet spin coming out of the hand of the pitcher. When it does, you know that you can square it up because it's not going to have a ton of vertical break.
1-2 just tapped away by Allen. Graduated from college last weekend. Congratulations, the first one in her family to do so.
So fun to be able to tell the stories of these amazing athletes and highlight just some of maybe the best moments in their lives, and that graduation ceremony, a huge one for her family.
Behind 1 and 2, Kylie Aldridge doing the catching for the Hokies, who swept a 3-game series. There's Kylie during the regular season back in mid-April. Virginia Tech outscored Georgia Tech 29-10 in those 3 games, but this is a whole new ball game. Struck out looking for Sarah Beth Allen.
I tell you what, when you see heat touching 70 miles an hour and then they knee buckle you with the changeup, that is devastating. And if Grine has confidence in that changeup early in this game, she is going to make a huge push to get another complete game under her belt. She's got 7 on the season, and this her 16th start.
6 of her games, she has had double-digit strikeouts. Mallory Black stepping in, also having a career year, an average home runs and runs driven in. Coach Morales talked about how they've just simplified things, and they're going to try to make things difficult for Grine.
Yeah, she's a hard thrower, touches 70, utilizes a ton of speed change, the best speed change on staff for the Hokies.
Drops it in for 2 and 1. How important is that, Jenny, to be consistent with changing speeds?
Well, when you're throwing 70 miles an hour, it can sometimes take one time through the lineup to be able to match that velocity and get your toe down or toe touch stride early enough to be able to square it up. If you can change speeds, nobody's digging in.
Jen Cooper behind the plate tonight. Called that a strike. 4-person umpiring crew, pardon me, and a replay umpire. Grine's off to a great start.
Man, and 2 strikeouts back-to-back with the change of speed. She is dealing, and it's so hard as a hitter to be able to recognize it because she spins it so tight, and that tight spin fools the eye of the batter thinking it's coming in with that high velocity. When it doesn't, that's the result right there. The swing and the miss, way ahead of the pitch.
2 up, 2 down, and now Tiffany Dominique, who is the second baseman. Transfer from South Carolina upstate, grounds it, Peck throws her out, and that's a great way to start.
Matching the lowest ERA on the 2023 staff and shaving almost 2.5 runs off her 2023 numbers. She's given the Yellow Jackets the best starts in the circle and has the most starts on the team.
Emma Ritter leading things off for Virginia Tech. She is hitting .423 on the season. And for this lineup, Georgia Tech second in the conference, hitting .345 as a team. A lot of familiar names in that lineup for head coach Pete DeMoore. Taking his team to 3 straight ACC semifinals and trying to make it 4 in a row. There's Coach Pete, 2-time ACC Coach of the Year. 1-1 on the way to Ritter.
DeMora, the fastest Virginia Tech coach to 100 wins. The first undefeated home record since 1999. That's crazy.
17-0 in the friendly confines in Blacksburg. Ritter sends that into left field, playable for Dobbins. Now the defense is very calm behind the plate, has sort of an unusual receiving style.
And she puts that knee down. When we talked to Coach Morales about it, we asked if that impacted her ability to be successful behind the plate. She said she only uses it in situations where she knows that she can get away with it if a ball gets to the back. So with nobody on, you'll see her down on that knee.
Addie Green sends one behind us. We have quite a few Hokie fans in attendance here. Some of the contingency who got here even for our last game, in which Florida State was able to shut out Notre Dame. 0-2.
You have to stake your claim, right? Sometimes the stands can get a little crowded. Knowing that tomorrow's first game will be a Duke contest, it's going to be a pretty packed house here. Virginia Tech going to have to struggle to find a spot after the game one tomorrow.
Always in the outfield and bring your own snacks in. Duke Clemson too. That makes it always extra special. In our first semifinal, Florida State gets the winner of this game.
Pretty cool to be able to sit on the berm. Beautiful night here in Durham.
Pulled off nicely.
Little cloud cover.
2-2 to Green. Into left field. After taking a couple of steps in, Dobbins retreats for the second out.
As an outfielder, you got to be ready to make plays because this ball is going to continue to fly out of the infield. These two teams not known for the ground ball. They like to launch, and in the outfield, you're going to have to cover some ground and try to keep the ball in the ballpark.
Now Cameron Fagan steps in, second team all-conference this year. And you can't talk about Virginia Tech fans without getting Arthur in.
Yeah, he's 6-year-old out of biggest fan for Virginia Tech. Loves Hokie sports, sends videos to the team before games to hype him up. Excited to have him here.
He is indeed their super fan. And the players have gotten to know him over the last few years, and he's seen a lot of wins for the Hokies.
Yeah, we were on Virginia Tech's campus for their regional a couple of years ago, and he was there leading cheers in the stands, and
it's a great atmosphere there.
He's a staple. He talks to Coach DeMora all the time. So cool having Arthur here.
The 2-1 pitch on the way to Fagan. Cameron Fagan from the very famous softball family. Their father, Kevin, was a tremendous football player, a couple of Super Bowl rings with the Niners, and all the Fagan sisters playing Division I softball. Cameron's the last.
It's going to be weird not to have a Fagan playing Division I softball.
Draws the 2-out walk.
And not only is Fagan so powerful, but she's willing to be disciplined and draw the walk. But there's all the sisters together. All of them playing at Power 5 schools. Arkansas, Florida, Missouri.
Was one at Auburn, or I just made that up? They've been all over. Corey McMillan is certainly a home run threat, but she pops it up on the first pitch. Edgman gets it. That's a huge out for Voiles. McMillan a win since 2021. And Virginia Tech trying to get back to their fourth straight semifinal. Ryan had a couple of strikeouts in the first inning as she faces Madison Dobbins. to lead things off here in the second for the Yellow Jackets. Dobbins has hit 3 grand slams this year, which is tied a Georgia Tech single-season record.
And she hit 1 off of Longwood, 1 off of Pitt, and 1 off of Coastal Carolina. Obviously, Grand Slam not going to happen here with bases empty, but the long ball definitely something that Dobbins is so good at. Double-digit home runs, 13 on the season.
And I liked what Eileen Morales, the head coach, when we talked to her the other day, she says that Dobbins has a violent swing.
Her exit velo over 80 miles an hour. When it comes to swinging violently, you have to be careful, though. You can swing out of your shoes at pitches out of the zone, so you have to be very disciplined.
Gets that 1-2 pitch in the left field. First hit of the game for Tech. Georgia.
Yeah, you can't say Tech in this one. And the way that Dobbins approached that at bat, you saw her swinging big early, and then the pitch takes a little velo off of that one, and a controlled barrel is able to stay in the zone long enough to punch it in the 5-6 hole.
Leadoff runner on as Jaden Gailey steps in. Sophomore who was a pinch hitter last year. But Coach Morales said that she just kept on hitting, so he had to keep her in the lineup. And she has taken advantage of that opportunity.
And not only was she swinging, but she was working hard on defense to be able to not be a liability in the field and keep herself in the starting lineup.
Eileen Morales was a very good softball player at Georgia Tech herself, was on an ACC championship team in 2005, off to a great start, most wins since 2018 in the conference, and 16 times they've come from behind to grab a victory. They have 31 wins on the season.
Well, not only did she play in the ACC, but she was the ACC Freshman of the Year in 2005, so able to coach back at her alma mater and lead this team.
Gailey taking all the way on a 3-0 pitch. Georgia Tech has not been to the NCAA tournament since 2022. They are the 6th seed this year, from 3-0 to 3-2 now.
Grind is so confident with that ball up in the zone. The batting average on that rise ball coming into today, just 215. What pitch is lower? Oh, you know, the changeup at 197. Oh, that's a nice spot.
Missed, huh?
Wow, and early in a game, you do need to push the corners to see what will get called, but you don't want to push in a 3-2 count because a disciplined hitter is going to be able to lay off of that and draw the walk. I like the spot, keeping it down low. But off the corner, doesn't get the call, and now a base, then a runner at third and bases loaded. So she's got to attack.
Hunter showing bunt. This is the Georgia Tech catcher. Emma Kauf was the catcher last year and for many seasons before that. Big shoes to fill. Squares to bunt, gets it down. Both runners advance 60 feet.
Well, Pam, it was the sacrifice bunt in games earlier today that could not get put down, and that was the difference. Having to go to extra innings and not being able to push runs across. Being able to sacrifice bunt is one of those unselfish skills that everyone in your roster needs to know how to do in tight situations to push runs across.
And Saleo goes after a high one. Saleo, the senior, hit 197 last year, led the conference in sacrifice bunts, and look at her batting average this season.
Yeah, soaring, and 5 home runs after hitting just 1 long ball last year. Leads the team in stolen bases, too.
Fagan goes over to first, and Georgia Tech breaks on top.
That's why the sacrifice bunt is so important. If you don't move those runners into scoring position, that slow roller over there to second base doesn't score anyone. It does move runners, but then you sit with 2 outs. I mean, this is such an important play right here for Georgia Tech. We know that they love the long ball, but they use some short game to push the first run across.
Soleo with her 16th run driven in gives Georgia Tech the 1-0 lead. And puts Gailey over at third for Paige Vukadinovich. Paige also hitting over 300 on the season. Grind gets the strikeout to end the inning, but Jen Soleo
Earlier today, thinking some rain might fall, but look at the way that sky is performing here tonight.
We were able to dodge some showers that originally had been forecast. Our friends down at Auburn, not so fortunate.
Nope.
Getting some rain at the SEC, but at least they're playing last time we checked.
Yeah, the coaches are probably sitting in boats down the line.
Bree Peck starting things off. Third baseman kicks it over to Soleo, who throws her out to start the second inning. Now the Atlantic Coast Conference Selection Sunday is coming our way. Just a few days, and there you see Duke, the only one solidly, right, Jen, that we know is going to host a regional.
Yeah, Duke, their RPI putting them in a great position to be able to host not just regionals, but supers as well. There's some bubble teams in the ACC coming in. Florida State, Virginia Tech, Clemson way down the list this year. Georgia Tech in this game has an RPI of 56. This is a must-win game for them to be able to push their RPI up a little bit to put them hopefully on the other side of the bubble to be able to make it to the postseason.
Trinity Martin steps in for the first time. Remember, it's the top 16 seeds that will get to host. And again, we will have every pitch of the NCAA tournament leading up to Oklahoma City.
Well, an RPI is not the definite line. It is one of the
key components
to being able to push the seeding. It's about seeding. If you are one of the top 16 seeds, you host the first round. If you're one of the top 8 seeds, you get to host. If you win regionals, you're able to host in the supers as well. And it is such a big advantage to be able to host and have your hometown crowd, sleep in your own bed, no jet lag.
Sophia Voiles now going 2-2 with Peck.
When it comes to finding out how are you going to be able to make it to the postseason, you have to find a way to put together a schedule that gives you an RPI that pushes you up high enough to get the attention of the selection committee. So not only do you have to win, but you have to win against good programs and solid teams.
Tournament to BYU after taking 2 of 3 in the Bedlam series. Texas and Oklahoma will be in the SEC next year. That's going to be a pretty good softball conference.
Well, and Stanford's way up there. Stanford and Cal coming over from the Pac-12 that will be no more into the ACC.
Michelle Chatfield, the first baseman, one of the freshmen that have made an impact on this program this year. Top 25 Freshman of the Year finalists nationally. All freshman ACC as well.
We've seen a couple freshmen in the ACC making a big impact this year. In our last game, Jason E. Beecham for Florida State seems to be a front runner for me for not just Freshman of the Year, but Player of the Year, as she sits as the only freshman the top 26 player of the year watch list, but this player right here, Michelle Chatfield, freshman home run record, or home run holder.
She's ahead 2-0 with Martin at first.
And when you look at the way that she stands in the box, she's got a very closed stance, meaning her right foot is closer to the outside line, her left foot is closer to the plate. What that does is brings that barrel around and through. She's more of a pull hitter than going oppo. So they will wear out that outside corner to her, knowing that she doesn't really like to go the other way, but that closed stance makes most of these pitches feel a little bit more inside to her swing as she pulls and yanks hard off with that left shoulder.
Now she's got a 3-1 on the way. Got it straight back.
And that's how you know that she has timed up the pitcher in the circle. Voiles needs to find a way to throw that disruption pitch, an off speed, take a little velo off of her pitches, knowing that Chatfield has timed her up and just missed that on that last swing.
Sends it into center field for Edgman. With the second out, that was the third 3-ball count for Voiles in the circle. The first two were walks, resulted in walks. That time she was able to get Chatfield to fly out, an important out.
It most definitely is, knowing the impact that Chatfield's bat has with those 19 home runs on the season. Brings Aldridge up, with who has a little bit less power with just 5 home runs on the year.
Aldridge, a sophomore. A lot of starts at catcher last year, starting at catcher again this season as a sophomore.
Ooh, the crowd not happy about that. That was a pretty pitch, and if she is able to grab that location, that's going to be important against these lefties, knowing that they're going to have to go away. That spin, very tight. I like the receive by Hunter to hold it, give the home plate umpire a little extra look, saying, hey, Jim Cooper, I'd like that call, please. And look at the command of that pitch. She's able to bring it just back enough to be able to give Cooper that little bit better look. I like the way, though, that she is able to control that pitch, not bring it over the heart of the plate, but bring it back over enough the white that it is a definite strike.
Upstairs, here's another 3-ball count. Fourth one now for Voiles. Aldridge draws the walk. Third of the game, second of the inning for Voiles.
Well, the reason that walk happens is because of the composure of Aldridge at the plate. That is the same spot that got called a ball earlier in that at bat. Able to show great plate discipline to stay off of it and get the Hokies 2 on.
Monica Rose is due up. The pinch hitter is coming up.
Emily Leggett will step into the box.
Pitching for Virginia Tech, number 9, Emily Leggett.
Now a visit in the circle. Aaron Dixon, first-year pitching coach. We mentioned there's a lot. I mean, there's all new faces. Leggett, the pinch hitter, with a couple on and 2 away.
And there's that spot. If she continues to go to it and show that she can control that pitch on the outside part of the plate, she'll be able to grab more of those strike calls.
Get a true freshman up in a crucial situation, goes upstairs, couldn't catch up.
Well, when it comes to being a freshman and playing for head coach Pete DeMoore, he says he recruits athletes with the skills to play immediately, but he's looking for those with the mental stability to be able to step in and ride the highs and lows of a very demanding season.
We'll get weights on it. Soleo able to throw it over to Dominique covering to retire the side. The
offensive player of the year hits the offensive go-ahead two-run home run. It's actually a walk-off two-run home run.
Hit that off of Abby Dunning, the pitcher for Boston College, who had a spectacular couple of days.
So impressed by her in the circle. Excited to see the way she closes out her career next year.
Well, Edgman, the number 9 hitter in the Georgia Tech lineup, comes up for the first time tonight. An RBI ground out by Jen Soleo in the last inning. Accounts for all of the offense so far in these two home run hitting, high scoring teams. We've yet to see that.
That put the run on the board with the sacrifice. I mean, it's kind of crazy because you know that these two teams love to just absolutely wail at the plate. But if you cannot execute short game, you cannot expect to win a championship. And that's what Georgia Tech was able to do to manufacture that first run of the game.
And that was something that hurt Duke earlier today. They had several opportunities to put some bunts down, do some short game against BC, failed to do that, and then the home run bailed them out.
Yeah, they had to go to extras to make it happen. It was kind of a nail biter.
Right back! Look at Grind!
And holds it up. I love that. You know, a pitcher that's able to help herself out in the circle. I think she surprised herself with the way that she went down to grab that. It is so hard for a pitcher to be athletic coming out of the circle with a comebacker. But she holds that one up so proud. Usually a pitcher will knock that down and hope that her middle infield can pick it up, but she grabs the out herself.
That's awesome. That's the first out of the inning with style for Lindsey Grind.
Almost like a gymnast, right? Like holding the pose at the
stuck
end.
It, man.
A beam routine.
Sarah Beth Allen struck out looking her first time up against Grind. Coach Pete DeMoore electing to go with Grind, a great option. He also has Emma Lemley on his staff, who has been terrific now in her junior season.
We have two Emmas that can follow Grind. You got Emma Lemley, who has proven herself now in her junior year, and then Emma Mazzarone, a freshman this season, who stepped on and eaten some quality innings and has put together a pretty good freshman season.
Mazzarone is a North Carolina native, and we see some Mazzarone jerseys in front of us in the Virginia Tech rooting section.
And Sarah Beth Allen, not your typical leadoff hitter. You usually see a lefty slapper with a ton of speed, but Sarah Beth Allen had gone about 2/3 of the way through the season and had been pitched around so often that Eileen Morales, the head coach for Georgia Tech, said, look, I need to give her more at-bats, so let's move her to the leadoff. And in doing so has given her a chance to have more at-bats and more impact in RBI production sitting at the top with speed at the bottom of the lineup. When it flips back over, she's able to step in with runners on.
Certainly has been a strategy that has paid off. Back-to-back 10+ home run seasons. That hadn't been done in over a decade.
I mean, she's been pitched around so much this year that she has the 3rd most walks in the NCAA. We just had Karina Gaskins for Notre Dame, who leads the country. Sarah Beth Allen sits at 3rd and moved to be able to put herself on for some of those bats that come behind her.
Did Allen hold up? Not called a swing. Let's take a look at that.
Pam, you don't sound convinced. Do you think the side swing's going to give away barrel break in the front plane of the plate?
Yep.
I believe you are right.
That's once.
One time today. I will give it to you.
So a break for Georgia Tech. Now Mallory Black. Struck out swinging her first time up. Her first 3 years, that's a foul ball. First 3 years, Mallory Black hit 10 home runs and had 68 runs driven in. This year, 19 home runs with 60 RBI.
I mean, she has been able to put up crazy numbers. We asked Coach Eileen Morales about it. She said, you know, she's freed up this year knowing that it's her last season and she's just trying to go out with some really big numbers. She does not want her season to end here at the ACC tournament. And without a run to the finals in this tournament and perhaps even a tournament win, it looks as though Georgia Tech may not have a postseason based on their RPI and where they sit. She just had the best offensive stat line in Power 5 since Jennings' freshman year. Are you kidding me? 55 plus hits, 50 plus home runs, 15 plus doubles, 18 plus home runs, 60 plus RBI. Also had a 24-game on base streak. One of the things that makes her so good is just that her failure recovery is able to step in and keep her mentally prepared from at bat to be able to just, if she doesn't do well in her first one, not let it trickle into the next.
That gets away from the catcher, Aldridge. Allows Allen to get down to second.
The ball to the backstop, you can expect to see a runner going hard off the backstop. Not afraid to let it fly. Kylie Aldridge throws it down. Georgia Tech with another runner in scoring position.
It just went away. Full count to Black, and that misses. Back-to-back walks drawn by Georgia Tech.
And coming into this one, Lindsey Grind had just 42 walks in her 99 innings pitched. Has now given up back-to-back walks, but that is her third walk in 2 innings.
A couple of walks, the wild pitch. Here's Tiffany Dominique, who grounded out to third her first time up. There's some activity now in the Virginia Tech bullpen.
Emma Mazzarone, number 5. Cassie Grizzard on the left. Both lefties, given a different look if they replace Grind in the circle.
Chance here for Georgia Tech to add on to the slimmest of leads. Dominique, one of the 4 Yellow Jackets, double-digit home runs.
And the crazy part about Lindsey Grind is she loves to throw the rise ball. But that's a very vulnerable pitch when a team is able to time you up, and she has allowed the most home runs on this pitching staff, 17 this year.
Chased, he couldn't get it. Big strikeout for Grind, 2 away.
And that is just a beautiful spot. Outside part of the plate with some nasty wiggle going away. Not a strike, but gets the swing and miss.
Up to Madison Dobbins now, who's singled and scored. That's a great stop by Aldridge.
I tell you what, have Aldridge back there behind the plate. She is able to get out of that crouch so quickly, knowing that that rise ball is just hopping. So much velo coming out of the circle, and she's able to move, keep it in front, keep everybody where they're at on the bases.
That's hit to the shortstop. What a play by Rose, who flipped it over to finish it for you Saturday afternoon. That's for the automatic qualifier bid. And that's the moon, looking like it's a lot closer than it is.
It's just a beautiful shot. It looks fake. Is that the nod that these teams hit moonshots? And we haven't seen one yet?
I think that's what our director, Matt Wilson, is trying to show us.
That's the only moonshot we've had in this game.
Yes, between two teams that are we have two of the top 4 home run hitting teams in the country right now, and here we are sitting 1-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Emma Ritter, top of the order, leading things off, flew out her first time up. That's a base hit, and then it gets away from Vukadinovich. Ritter is going to get all the way to third base.
And Pam, they may score that a triple, because I don't know that it touched the glove of Paige Vukadinovich out there and right. And it's textbook. Outside pitch, doesn't try to overswing, just punches it to the outfield. Misplayed by Vukadinovich, who was charging in to make the play. Ball goes all the way to the wall. And you cannot do that with Emma Ritter, because she is so stinking fast. She leads this team in stolen bases. I thought there was a chance that we were going to see her get the green light to try to go ahead and score on that one, but she stops at third.
Well, Ritter on third now for Addie Green, and it has indeed been ruled a triple.
I don't like the way that it scored, but it did not touch Vukadinovich's glove, and so because of that, it is a hit, a huge one, a triple.
Second triple of the year for Ritter, even though it was really a single and a 2-base error, but let it go.
True facts, Pam.
Addie Green flew out herself the first time. Part of the lineup coming up with Fagan on deck, McMillan after her. And that is the first hit that Virginia Tech has gotten tonight off of Boyles.
Well, and Addie Green right here just needs to punch this ball to the grass. Her batting average has improved by 130 points this year, and she leads the ACC in doubles.
3-0. 3-1 with Ritter on third, and that's called a swing, so Green has to come back after the appeal.
Yeah, in a 3-1 count, she is aggressive to it, and when you're an aggressive swinger, it's hard to hold up. She did break the plane of the plate, but tried to sell it, head to first base, but down the line, Craig Hyde said, come on back.
Green sends it into center. Ritter is tagging at third. Easily scores the tying run.
Textbook sac fly, drive the ball to the outfield, and that ball was so deep. Emma Ritter did not take any chances leaving early in that tag box. Watch the foot of Emma Ritter. Does it wait to leave until the ball is caught? Not only does she wait to leave, but there is a huge hesitation knowing that it is not going to be close at the plate.
Yep, she knew she could go in, not even close to full speed, and not have to slide. So we are tied up at 1 apiece. Bases are empty for Cameron Fagan.
Fagan is able to show discipline on the rise ball, but that's actually the one pitch that she hits with so much power. She hits 480 on the ball up in the zone.
Boyles falls behind again.
Fagan's battled injury her whole career as well, but has been more healthy this season, has been able to play more pain-free. Because of that, has been able to elevate her batting average this season.
taking all the way on the 3-0, gets a strike. Even close as Fagan draws the one-out walk. Fourth walk surrendered by Voiles, and Georgia Tech has Jaden Studebaker throwing. And we also see Chandler Dennis, number 44, partially obscured by the pole, getting loose. Corey McMillan popped out to the center fielder her first time up, but has monster numbers this year.
And McMillan is a huge addition to this program, who saw so many big names graduate from the program last season. They lost 12 players, 2 coaches. And McMillan coming in as a transfer student from Radford, coming in with big numbers and leads the ACC in home runs this year.
So a Radford transfer coming into the ACC and just tearing things up. She's from Greensboro, North Carolina. Radford, she had a .345 career average and stepped right in with big numbers at Virginia Tech. Pops it back.
When you have a bat like McMillan, you need it in the lineup. At Radford, she was an infielder, but head coach Pete DeMore said, it doesn't matter, can you play outfield? And she's been holding down right field very well for the Hokies.
Big strikeout of McMillan.
As a big hitter, you like to see the ball elevated, and on this one, takes a little something off of it, dusts the outside part of the plate, gets way out ahead of those legs. Nice little strikeout, and that's the first one of the game for Voiles.
Not bad, a big one. It's a very good hitter, but not out of the woods yet, because here's Peck.
Well, that's the difference between a first pitch swing and then a defensive swing when you've got 2 strikes. She was swinging for the fences, coming out of her shoes on that. She's got double-digit home runs. That's the kind of swing you like to see early in an at-bat, especially on a pitch like that.
Sends that into center where it is playable. Squeezed by Edgman. Thanks for doing this. What a season this has been for your team. Can you talk a little bit just about the power surge we've seen?
Yeah, I mean, they've swung the bat with a lot of intent and not been afraid to swing big, and so good things have happened.
And you've had to pitch by committee, a ton of pitchers in your staff. How long do you expect to see Voiles in the circle?
Yeah, I think we're going to see more than one arm. So, you know, when that happens, you guys will see, right? We're here to entertain.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Glad you're feeling better.
Thanks, y'all.
Wow, it's that time of year.
Yeah. But she has stuck up for this team all year long, just talking about how good they are. But there she is. That
lower left, you can see her. It's right by sitting down on the grass, right by the ACC.
You betcha, right by the 1953.
She looks the same.
Oh man,
baby Eileen.
But she's a trooper. She has not been feeling well this week. Went to the doctor. She said she sounds worse than she feels, which is great.
Always a good thing,
right? So she is not judged on her voice. Luckily, we're not, on American Idol or anything like that. So.
Her team is tied up at 1. Pam Ward, Jenny Dalton-Hill joining you on this lovely evening in Durham. And yes, this your eyes do not deceive you. It's 1-1. We've had some low-scoring games, certainly in this ACC championship so far. But these two teams can explode at any time now with power. Lindsey Grine in the circle for Virginia Tech. Jaden Gailey starting things off. She walked in the first inning, so an RBI ground out for Georgia Tech. And in the last inning, we had an RBI sac fly. So.
Yeah, not the home run.
No, no home runs.
We had previewed how we were going to see
zero
fireworks in this one, and so far the ball stayed in the park. But is this the first one?
Could it be? Yes, it is. There's your home run. Jaden Gailey delivers to lead off the fourth inning.
You throw either of these teams a cookie, they're going to take a bite and a huge swing out of it. That one was left big. You know that Grine likes to throw the rise ball up in the zone, but when it sits flat, you better be ready to pay. And that's exactly what happened on that one. Jaden Gailey, 5th home run of the year, leaves the yard. And you may not be able to hear it. She's going to give you a little fist pump, let you know that you did it right, and gives them the lead.
87th home run of the season for Georgia Tech. They hit 48 last year, 25 the year before that. And as you said, that's rather unexpected for her, just home run number 5 for Gailey, but it does the trick to give Tech its second lead of the night. Reese Hunter hits it to Rose, who throws her out.
And they set a program record this year for the most consecutive games with multiple home runs. They had an 11-game streak with multiple home runs. So they are just absolutely tearing it up with the long ball this season.
More home runs this year than the last 2 seasons combined. New coaching staff paying dividends.
When they talked about how this year they simplified the process. They do scout the pitchers, but they dive less into the information. They let the players be more athletic, and they focus on their own strengths rather than the matchup and how to attack the pitcher. They just say, look, you're good at this specific skill. Now exploit the pitcher when she puts it there.
Soleo gets the base hit. Got the RBI ground out her last time up. Do you like that hitting philosophy?
I do. I think when you give hitters too much information, it can stifle them from making good decisions at the plate because they think too much. Sometimes you have a paralysis by analysis, and if you continue to step to the plate and think too much, your swing won't go off free. And so Eileen Morales, recognizing opportunity with some pretty good hitters that can send the ball deep, frees them up to just be athletic at the plate.
And you're also talking about Georgia Tech athletes, student athletes, who are
So
smarter
smart.
than the average bear, right? I mean,
So
these are
smart.
really.
I mean,
So they're probably overthinking life anyway, right?
Well, and they're so good at being analytical, but that is one of the worst things you can do standing at the plate. But defensively, they know that Vukadinovic's not going to drive the ball deep, so the outfield will respect her, but the infield is going to squeeze her a little bit. Over there at second base, they're going to leave Fagan deep.
Fagan over there playing at second base for the Hokies.
Wears a modified cleat, had some foot and knee problems early in her career, so that modified cleat. I mean, I'd like to wear Hokas, for crying out loud.
Nice and comfy.
Yeah, definitely not like the metal spikes that everybody else is wearing, but gives her enough grip on the dirt to be able to move laterally with ease.
1-2 to Vukadinovic. Let it go. And sits down. Out number 2.
Struck out on the rise ball last time around with the bat off the shoulder. This time watches it paint the outside corner right at the knees. Beautiful spot, 5th strikeout of the night for Grine.
Number 9 hitter Ella Edgman lined out to the pitcher Grine, who then struck a victory pose after the catch.
That's maybe the best photo op of the night. It was the smile after and then turning around to say, did you see what I just did?
Pretty good. Edgman sends it into center field, but Ritter had it in her sights the entire way. That retires the side, but Jaden Gailey led things off with a homer. We have 2 power teams, but just 2-1 so far. What are you seeing from Grind so far in the circle?
No, she's mixing it up, and you know, I think she's around the strike zone, and she's throwing well, I think, and we'll stick with her.
Yeah, I like the way she's throwing too. And when it comes to your hitters, what adjustments do you need to see at the plate for this one to flip around?
I don't know. It's the tail of the last couple of weeks. We're getting in good counts. We just got to make her throw a strike and hit it hard.
You've certainly been doing that all year. Thank you so much, Coach.
You got it. And as the other league says, gobble, gobble. You have to end on something that's
oh, there
our
you
school,
go.
So gobble, gobble.
Thanks for the gobbles.
Thank you.
Well, and right now they need to gobble some strikes. I mean, that seems to be the issue they're having. They're swinging at pitches that they can't get underneath and get that big swing out. Look at that smile. And he's never said that on air.
I love it.
I mean, maybe that's his new tagline. If it works this inning, right? If it works.
Oh, he's never letting it go.
That will stick. So I think we're hoping for some big hits so I can always hear Coach DeMore say gobble, gobble.
All right, now Trinity Martin will be leading things off for the Hokies, and Coach DeMore also telling us his son Roe will turn 3 next week, so happy early birthday. That's a lot going on, right? Oh, my.
Just a little bit going on in his life. Getting ready for Selection Sunday and figure out where Roe's birthday party will be. Probably at home, not with his dad.
Martin takes a strike. 2 runs on 3 hits for Georgia Tech. Virginia Tech just 1 hit on the day. It was a triple credited to Emma Ritter back in the last inning, and this is a Virginia Tech offense that has been quite potent all season long. Second in the ACC in batting average, second in the nation in home runs. 6 players on this team with at least 10 home runs. A good job by Voiles, who has worked around 4 walks and only given up a run.
And there are only 3 players in this starting lineup for Virginia Tech that don't have double-digit home runs. And Trinity Martin is one of those players who has had a substantial drop in terms of at-bats compared to the rest of her teammates. She's got just 40 at-bats on the year coming into today. You've got Emma Ritter, who has 175. I mean, this is a limited scope for Trinity.
Big swing and a miss.
But she's got 4 dingers on the year. I mean, this is a team that hits home runs top to bottom with those limited opportunities. She's still coming in and hitting a home run in 10% of her at-bats.
Sends that skyward into short right, where it's hit.
And I think he got a tickle out of it himself.
Yes, which is what it's all about.
Yes.
Michelle Chatfield flew out her first time up, one of the long ball threats. True freshman from Lovettsville, Virginia.
And when you go in and look at the way that Chatfield has approached her at bats, very few home runs have been pull side or off of an inside pitch. She loves to pull the ball. But because of that stance, I think it scares pitchers away from throwing her hard and in, so a lot of them going away.
Chatfield, good size, 6 feet tall. She's got a 3-0 pitch. See if she takes it. Ooh, called a strike.
And I don't know if that was the location that was called back there behind the dish. Reese Hunter looked to get a little crossed up on that one. She was set up on the outside, and it squeaked back in under the hands of Chatfield.
Hitters count at 3-1. Up in the air. Mask is off, and boy, it looked like Hunter was in trouble the whole time, and she couldn't grab it.
And that needs to be a catch made by the first baseman. There was enough time for Jaden Gailey to get down the line and make that play. Reese Hunter had not even released her helmet. She did the right thing by taking it off and holding on to it, because if you throw it, you may throw it underneath where you need to go to catch that ball. But a catcher's mitt, not designed to be able to handle the kind of spin coming out of a pop fly like that.
So a second chance for Chatfield. She draws the walk, the 5th one surrendered by Voiles.
Not only is it the 5th walk, but it now evens up Chatfield in the stat line. She has 31 strikeouts on the season and now 31 walks.
Virginia Tech has had runners in every inning. And now a pinch runner coming in for Chatfield, Sarah McNelly. Another one of the freshmen on this team.
Pinch running at first base for Virginia Tech, number 23, Sarah McNelly. At the plate for the Hokies, the catcher, number 11, Kylie Aldrich.
Kylie Aldrich, catcher, up for the 2nd time. Walked in her first plate appearance. Sends it into left field, but Madison Dobbins got it.
And that's been the story of Aldridge's season, it seems like. She's able to barrel up a ton of balls, but they go right at defenders, and that's one of the things that head coach Pete DeMoore said the way she started. It seemed like a slow start, but she was barreling up balls so hard, going right at defenders. You just wait for the turn to be made. Sometimes you got to look to elevate a little bit, try to push under the ball, drive on top of the ball, just make it a little bit different.
Annika Rose, the shortstop, batting for the first time. Pinch hit for in her first go-around by Leggett, who flew out. He's made some nice plays over at short tonight. Oh for 6 with runners on base for the Hokies. RBI coming in on a sac fly in the 3rd inning.
Good plate discipline by Annika Rose to be able to stay off that pitch. You want to protect, but you don't want to go down with that swing and a miss with the ball way off the plate.
Royals ahead 1-2. Just got a piece.
And Pam, we've talked a lot about injuries on teams all throughout the country. Annika Rose gets the start throughout the whole season because of the injury to Rachel Castine earlier in the year. About 5 games in, got hurt, season-ending injury, and Rose got called up to play short.
And that's something that is a huge blow for this team, losing Castine.
When 5 games is generous, Castine had 19 at-bats when she went down and had 3 grand slams in 8 games.
Wow. Now the 2-2 with the pinch runner McNelly over at first. Got her to end the inning. Have 1 run right now as they try to advance to their 4th straight semifinal, taking on a Georgia Tech team that they swept during the regular season.
The Georgia Tech batter.
Outscored them by 19 runs in those 3 games. They have won 9 straight games in this series. Been a long time since the Yellow Jackets have beaten the Hokies.
It's all about the circle. We know that both of these teams can hit, but if you leave the ball big, that's when you get into trouble. Ryan got into trouble by leaving that pitch big to Jaden Gailey, who gave it a ride. Our first moon shot that was not technically of the moon here tonight was the home run hit back in the 4th inning, and it comes down to just making sure that the ball is moving through the zone and not just hitting a spot. It's easy to hit a ball that sits flat.
Top of the lineup for Georgia Tech here in the 5th inning, Sarah Beth Allen, who was struck out and walked, followed by Black and Dominique.
And she was part of that dance party in the dugout, so she's looking loose. She's ready to go.
Great numbers on the season, all career highs on the offensive side of it. And she starts things off with a walk.
And that's actually why she was moved to the leadoff spot for Georgia Tech, knowing that she was getting pitched around all season long. And so Eileen Morales said, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and just move you to the leadoff and give an opportunity for some of these other bats to push you around.
Gracie Hillman's going to come in and run for Allen. I'm sorry. Yes, Gracie Hillman.
Pitch running at first base for Georgia Tech, number 6, Gracie Hillman.
So Hillman over there for Allen. Mallory Black.
I need to apologize to Mallory Black. Earlier in the game, I said that Addie Green had the most doubles in the conference, but it's actually Mallory Black. She's got 17.
Black falls behind 1-2.
And it's a big job to sit behind Sarah Beth Allen, who does get pitched around all the time. They're pitching around her to get to you. Well, Mallory Black has been able to just pound the ball this season. 19 home runs on the year, but still sits behind in this one, which makes her have to swing a little bit more defensively to protect the zone.
Another good job of Aldridge going out and grabbing that pitch.
She's so athletic back there behind the plate. To be able to get those balls with a ton of spin and a lot of velocity that are getting away from grind up.
Black on the ground, picked up by Peck, who goes over to get the first out of the inning. Hillman advances to second.
That play is made because of the aggression of Peck moving forward. It's hit off the end of the bat, so it's not sharply hit, but she picks her hop and is able to throw off the run. Really, she makes that play look really easy, but it's difficult to make sure that you stay low enough to get that ball and open up the shoulder to give a good throw to first.
And Peck has been so solid over there at third for the Hokies. Dominique picked up by Rose, pardon me, and that froze the runner. So Hillman stays put at second.
And sometimes a shortstop will get nervous about the kind of hops that she's getting, and what you see out of this one is that Rose goes to her knees to field this one. Over at second, trying to distract Rose in the play defensively. It stays very keyed in on the ground ball and gets the out.
So now up to Madison Dobbins. She has one of Georgia Tech's 3 hits tonight. This is the story of the game right now, why it's so low scoring. Neither team delivering either with runners on or with 2 outs. Jaden Gailey had a leadoff home run in the 4th. It's been the only hit that has resulted in a run. We've had a sac fly and a ground out RBI, that's it. Not what we expected, Jennifer. A lot of home run hitters on these teams, and here we are.
Yeah, the bats are quiet, and you've got to give credit to the circle, because that seems to be the difference in this game, is the ability to just dance around the zone, give competitive looks and competitive strikes, extending, getting the swing and the miss hit, the fly balls, the weak ground balls, and then the defense is showing up behind them, except for that one triple that was a miscue by Georgia Tech right fielder Paige Vukadinovich.
That led to the sac fly RBI. There's a walk drawn by Dobbins. 2nd of the inning, 5th of the night. Jaden Gailey, who hit a home run off of Grind in her last at bat. 2 on, 2 out. The winner gets Florida State tomorrow afternoon in the 2nd of our semifinals.
But in her last at bat off of Lindsey Grimes, but that one was way gone.
Just the 5th home run of the year for Gailey. But both teams have had major trouble getting base hits with runners in scoring position in this game. Two, 1. Oh, wow. Aldridge saved another one.
That is incredible. It's almost like she's like one of the Incredibles, like the mom, the stretchy one. I mean, to be able to go up and get that pitch, it is held on to way too long. I mean, she jumped for it off of her knees.
Saved Mazzarone from a wild pitch.
And I think sometimes as a catcher, you can be vulnerable when you do put a knee down. But back there behind the plate, Aldridge typically keeps that knee down and is able to get up and get those pitches that typically should find the backstop.
Full count with 2 out and 2 on. Mazzarone calls time.
And the reason that time is so important is because of the action clock. You can see it to the left of your screen. A pitcher only has 20 seconds to be able to separate those hands and move into the pitch.
Emma Mazzarone, the true freshman from right here in North Carolina, strikes out. Gailey strands a couple of runners.
So needs some attention because those numbers are a little too close for comfort. She will step in, though, to give things a different look for Georgia Tech and try to keep Virginia Tech in the ballpark.
Which is always a tall task with this team, and it is the top of the lineup coming up. Emma Ritter, tripled and scored on Addie Green's sac fly, and there you see the career home run hitters. That gets right by the 3rd baseman. Black, leadoff single here in the 5th for Ritter.
Well, and that's a hitting adjustment that you like to see throughout a game, knowing that earlier in this game, the Hokies had been lifting. Well, now staying on top of the ball, driving it through the 5-6 hole. Great adjustment for the Hokies, and expect to see some more changes as these home run hitters sit 1, 2, 3 in the lineup, make adjustments to try to put another run across.
There's Addie Green. Batting average up well over 100 points from where it was last year. Takes 2 quick strikes.
And both of them with speed change. You know that when Caulfield's throwing, she doesn't trust that changeup a ton, but she trusts it when she's ahead. So she does it there for the first 2 pitches of this at bat.
Heel down, did she swing? Nope. Another lineup change for Georgia Tech. Vukadinovich now is the DP. Hillman goes out to right field. We've seen her pinch run in the last inning.
Well, and there's the inconsistency in the changeup. She started out with 2 fabulous changeups in this at bat. Goes back to it to try to get the strikeout, but holds on to it a little too long to even up the count.
Ooh, Green waited on it, and man, hit that off her foot.
And the reason that's so hard is because you have to create a solid front side when you're hitting, and when you line drive the ball right into that front leg, it makes it really tender, and it's hard to be able to create that solid front side on a leg that is throbbing right now. Sometimes you'll see players walk it off down the line just to be able to get some feeling back into that leg, but that is a painful place to hit the ball off and then step back in to try to be a power hitter.
Another 2-2 pitch. Went upstairs and couldn't catch up.
I mean, that ball up in the zone, definitely not a strike. And when it starts at the thigh, you think, surely it won't have that much vertical separation. But as it continues to spin and travel, beautiful swing and miss pitch.
First strikeout for Caulfield. Faces Cameron Fagan. Fagan to Dominique, goes out, gets the lead runner. Route number 2.
You like to have your hitters aggressive early in a count, but that one way out in front of it, and you've seen so much speed change so far out of Caulfield that it's hard to step in and swing at the first pitch because you don't know if you're going to see velocity or if you're going to see a floater. And so for Fagan, she gets caught.
Well, now it's up to Corey McMillan, who is looking for her first hit tonight. McMillan, the Radford transfer. 4 home runs in her last 6 games coming into this one. Taking.
And I understand why you take in a 3-0 count, but that pitch was pretty juicy. And that, but it didn't have the velo on it. You need the velocity to be able to be timed up correctly, so it's a good take.
Now the 3-1. Another chance at second. Dominique delivers. And Virginia Tech, after selection Sunday, is Sunday. Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton-Hill joining us on a Sunday this year. Selection Sunday.
Well, and it's just so fun because I feel like this time of year takes forever to get here, and then it's just this race to the finish. Everybody out of the starting gates on Sunday trying to figure out where they're going to go, who's going to be able to stay home, who's going to get to stay home for 2 weekends in a row if they win at regionals. And we're used to seeing more ACC teams with the opportunity to host, and this year RPIs for most of the teams in the ACC a little bit more elevated. A couple bubble teams that might host, but it's going to take a deep run here at this tournament to be able to push them into the hosting opportunity.
That's going to be a leadoff hit from Reese Hunter. Takes a wide turn at first, a slight bobble in center, so she takes the extra base.
Reese Hunter squaring up the ball, driving it to the wall. I mean, the way that she's able to just step out, she goes wide on the step, which gives her the ability to drive that inside pitch a little bit better. That wide turn I thought was going to catch her in trouble, but the throw way offline coming in from center field. Emma Ritter's throws usually a lot more online than that. But it gave Reese Hunter the easy stand-up double.
She gets the congratulations in the dugout as a pinch runner
Number 7, Jen Saleo.
comes in. Brianna Condon. And Jen Saleo gets down the butt. Just went foul.
Well, and that's been the piece of Ginsaleo's game that I think has improved so much from last year to this year. She committed to being more effective at the short game. And look at the placement. That barely squeaked foul. Man, that was a beautiful drag bunt, but heads up play back behind the dish by Aldridge to let it roll.
Saleo up for the first time against Emma Mazzarone, who came in to get a big strikeout to end a threat in the 5th inning. Coach Morales is going to talk to her veteran.
Well, the 0-2 count is the reason why this conversation needs to take place. She was trying to have her use some small ball to move the pinch runner, Condon, over. But with 2 strikes, short game off the table, and Ginsaleo going to have to step in and swing away. But she's been very successful here tonight. 1 for 2, but has one of the RBI.
Did that with the ground out, but she's down 0-2. Aldridge with another stop. I don't know if this kid ever played hockey, but I think she'd be a great goaltender if she could skate. Holy
I tell
goodness.
you, when it comes to that worm burner in the ground, you expect it to hop up, but it just hugged the dirt, and so she was able to keep the glove down low enough to be able to just block it up. An impressive job back behind the dish for them tonight.
That popped off her glove and allows Condon to get down to 3rd. Finally, one that she couldn't save.
Well, maybe that would be a good way to save it in hockey, but you gotta keep it in the leather here playing softball, because it allowed Condon to advance just 60 feet away from scoring another run. And we've seen so many pitches up in the zone. Good read by the pinch runner to just continue on to 3rd base.
So she's 60 feet away from an insurance run. For this year, Ginsaleo's career high was 287. That was 2 years ago. Came into this game hitting .344.
I'm just impressed with the way that she has so much better barrel awareness. In years past, she would stride, but then pull so hard off that her head would come off of her swing. Now, starting with that open stance helps her to stay a little bit more on plane and more effective swinging away.
Full count missed. 7th pitch of the at-bat resulted in a walk. So runners on the corners now with no. Now Grace Connolly now DPing for Vukadinovic. First time we have seen Grace tonight.
I like the pull of Vukadinovic in this situation. It's a big RBI situation, and the defense is pulled in knowing that that run is sitting at 3rd base. Sometimes you'll see runners get put in motion to try to dupe a throw down to 2nd base. But with the way that this defense is playing, it looks as though they'll keep the runner close to 1st.
Connolly sends one over the wall. In a pitch hit situation, it's just her 7th hit of the year.
Big players come through in big ways, in big moments, and Grace Connolly gets called off the bench to come in a huge situation. Pam, we talk about the home run ball being such an important factor in these 2 teams' offenses, but Grace Connolly has not hit a home run this season. Pretty good time for her to come through in a pinch. A huge opportunity. 3-run home run for Connolly.
What a moment for Connolly, who is a 5'4" junior from Sewanee, Georgia. Has not gotten a lot of at-bats in her career, and I think she's going to remember that one probably for the rest of her life. 6-1.
Well, when you see someone come off the bench, you think, I'm just going to throw this first one by him and get ahead in the count. Well, Connolly was ready to launch. Huge pitch. That one got out of here quick.
And pardon me, it's 5-1. It says 6-1 on the scoreboard out in the outfield, but that was a 3-run home run. 5-1 as Edgman bounces out. 3-run home run for Connolly on a 1-1 pitch.
Well, when it comes to Virginia Tech, they don't need to worry about making the postseason. They're sitting at 18 in the RPI. It's Georgia Tech that this win means so much for them.
Went to Mazzarone, the freshman, and now Lemley's in.
But if you don't win tonight, what are you saving Lemley for? I think this is a great move to bring in.
Certainly, but I was just saying, you didn't want him to have to do this.
No, definitely not, because you do try to think ahead. You have to game plan. You never want to look past an opponent. But if Virginia Tech had sat on top of this one tonight, you would not see Emma Lemley. But with the way that Mazzarone came into the circle, this is the natural progression of where this pitching staff needs to go to try to bring this game back.
Facing a 4-run deficit now. Sarah Beth Allen has walked a couple of times and struck out. Lemley was their only returning pitcher last year. Still won over 20 games, but saw the ERA go up through a ton of innings, over 200 innings. Was the ACC Freshman of the Year a couple of years ago. Sky. Fagan grabs it for the out. We're 2 away now.
The third baseman, number 11,
Mallory Black.
Mallory Black.
And I'm totally fine with you swinging for the fences, but you have to make sure that that backside gets through so you don't collapse the barrel through the swing. And right there, as Black steps in to swing hard and away, she's got to make sure that she stays tall on that backside. And just not a lot of movement on that back leg. And when you do not get the back leg through on this swing, the barrel can drag through the zone, make it an easy pop-up.
Lemley ahead, 0-2. Got her on 4 pitches to end the inning. Stymied so far by Georgia Tech's pitchers, Sophia Voiles and now Michaela Caulfield. Bree Peck leading things off here in the 6th. The winner gets Florida State in the 2nd semifinal tomorrow. Our first game at 1 Eastern time on the ACC network is Duke and Clemson.
And while this Virginia Tech team has been hot hitting the long ball this year, they've cooled off tremendously here at the end of the season. Just 2 hits in this game, and that was one of the things that Coach Pete Demore talked about. Like, I don't know what's going on. This team is capable of hitting the long ball and capable of stringing hits together. But right now, the bats completely quiet in this one.
takes it inside, and Connolly, who hit that big 3-run pinch hit home run, now is out in right field for Georgia Tech. Peck up the middle. Saleo going behind second base to make the play.
If you ask Eileen Morales who the best defender is she's ever coached, she will tell you Jen Saleo. This ball right back up the middle. Look at the range of the shortstop to be able to get all the way behind second base, almost on the other side of second base, and doesn't have to reach for it. She gets that one between her legs. You've got to be kidding me. Great defense. Great defense for Georgia Tech.
Made it look relatively easy the way she kind of glided over there, and the second baseman Dominique was getting ready to field it. But with her momentum going that way, it was better for Saleo to get it.
Every day you want to make your shortstop take that. Your throw will not be hard enough as a second baseman going that hard up the middle to make a solid throw to first base to get the out. The only way you get that out is by Saleo taking it.
Trinity Martin down 0-2. One skips in. Virginia Tech team coming in with such impressive numbers. On pace for program records and runs, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, already with the home runs. And they've got 1 run in this game. Martin took it upstairs, so now a full count with Chatfield on deck. Missed. Martin's a 1-out base runner.
Now in right field for Georgia Tech, number 3, Grace Connolly. Batting for Virginia Tech, the first baseman, number 4, Michelle Chatfield.
Chatfield, the freshman, always a big threat. She has flown out and walked in this game. First time she's seen Caulfield as Hunter comes out for a chat. There is some activity in the Georgia Tech bullpen.
Kinsey Norton warming in the pen.
Georgia Tech very much a pitch by committee squad this season. So on the season, they have been monsters, and today, just 2 hits and 0 for 10 with runners on base.
And Pam, the only player with a hit, Emma Ritter, she's the only one. She has the 2 hits that are up on the board. So just your leadoff hitter without any production coming in behind.
Yeah, she's 2 for 3. The rest of the team 0 for. And that is highly unusual for a club that averages 345 batting average on the season. Just 2 measly hits. They have 112 home runs, 3rd in the nation.
And this is just a gutsy performance in the circle by Georgia Tech. All season long, they've been able to use a ton of arms. 6 different pitchers with without a ton of experience, right? They've split the innings pretty evenly throughout 4 of their pitchers. Caulfield, she came into this game with 19 1/3 innings on the season. But when you talk about this freshman pitcher in the circle, Coach Eileen Morales says she pitches with no fear, and that's exactly what you're seeing in this effort here tonight against Virginia Tech.
Wow. Caulfield gets Chatfield.
I mean, this ball up in the zone, I think it's a hidden delivery that comes out of Caulfield that makes it hard for hitters to pick it up, especially right-handed hitters. With the lefty coming out of the circle, the ball comes from behind that left hip a little bit late, so it's hard to pick up with the eye, but a beautiful swing and miss. Second strikeout for Caulfield.
Virginia Tech now 0 for 11 with runners on base. Here's Kylie Aldridge. He's been terrific behind the plate as defensive catcher tonight. And Caulfield in the circle, Coach Morales.
When you're a right-handed hitter, you're looking to see the ball come out, but as a left-handed hitter, you can see that ball a little bit longer because it's coming arm side. So in baseball, you hear about those lefty-lefty matchups. I think it's a lefty-righty matchup that goes to the favor of the pitcher in the game of softball because of the way that those lefties deliver, hiding the ball behind the hip.
That's sent deep into left field, but playable right in front of the wall. Grabbed by Dobbins, and Caulfield comes in. Team is 0 for the game.
And not a good stat when you're trying to push for postseason.
So here we are in the 7th inning. Pam Ward along with Jenny Dalton-Hill, our all ACC crew is here, waiting. I'd love to hear what they're going to say about this because I'm a little stunned by this right now. With all due respect to Georgia Tech, we're just used to seeing so much offense out of Virginia Tech. And this pitching staff for Georgia Tech that's kind of cobbled together all of these innings have kept them quiet.
Well, and these two teams met in the regular season. Virginia Tech swept and run ruled Georgia Tech. It was back in the end of April that they matched up. And when you think about the way these two teams played, there were 10 combined home runs in that series, 6 by Virginia Tech, 4 by Georgia Tech. Here tonight, I'm so impressed with the way that Eileen Morales' pitchers have pitched in the circle to keep Virginia Tech's bat so quiet.
And there's another one. Tiffany Dominique. Georgia Tech bringing out the big bats tonight. Their 3rd home run of the game, and they're up 6-1.
Tiffany Dominique was not an everyday starter when this season began, but she broke into the lineup in the 2nd week of play and has not come out. This ball had great upspin, but Dominique able to catch up to it. Holy cow, that ball was a no-doubter, completely squared up.
Hit that off of Lemley.
Pretty cool. Dominique already with double-digit home runs, but that's her 12th of the season.
First year at Georgia Tech, transfer from South Carolina upstate. Dobbins now steps in. And Coach Morales said of Dominique that they connected very quickly when she talked to her when she was in the portal. Says she's a dog and just loves to play. And she really crushed that pitch.
She was brought on to bring more power. Well, there you see the power.
Mission accomplished. So Georgia Tech now with 3 home runs. They have more home runs than Virginia Tech has hits. Virginia Tech just 2 hits. A triple for Ritter that could have been a single had it been played properly in the outfield, and then a single. That's it, by Ritter.
Yeah, the top of the lineup, I guess the leadoff batter, you can't even call it the top of the lineup, just the leadoff batter with hits tonight. Everybody else struggling to make adjustments at the plate.
Winner gets Florida State tomorrow. Neither Tech team played the Seminoles during the regular season this year. Only gets Dobbins. And Lemley, the third Hokie pitcher we've seen tonight.
And that ball, you expect Lemley to throw you the rise ball. So as it sits knee high, you think it's going to come up and join you right at the belt, but that one stayed low. Nice little drop ball to fall in for her second strikeout tonight.
Gailey hit the first Georgia Tech home run tonight. Solo shot back in the fourth. And they've gotten home runs from a couple of unusual suspects, if you will, right? Gailey just had 4 coming in, and then the pinch hitter, Conley, had 0.
Yeah, Kuseg cracked it open. Another big dinger. I mean, I'm so impressed with the way that Georgia Tech has attacked Virginia Tech in this game after being swept in the regular season. And it's difficult to beat a team multiple times in a year. So often you see teams go into a conference matchup and they take 2 of 3. Sweeping an opponent 3 times and sweeping an opponent, winning once 3 days in a row, so difficult to do. And Georgia Tech went and did their homework against Virginia Tech, and it's paid off here.
Gailey takes it inside. Number 9, 1, and 2 hitters due up for Virginia Tech. Rose, and then the top of the lineup, Ritter and Green. They have a long way to go to extend this game. Certainly capable of big innings, but it's been a frustrating night, certainly for the Hokie batters.
Yeah, Virginia Tech loves crooked numbers, and we've seen them put tons of runs on the board, but tonight, very quiet.
They average 8 runs per game. Gailey has a 3-1 pitch heading her way, pops it up. Peck ends the at bat there. That's the second out.
The catcher, number 22, Reese Hunter.
Reese Hunter, the catcher, doubled, and pinch runner came in and scored on Conley's home run in the last inning.
And as you head down the lineup, this is the first time for these batters seeing Emma Lemley in the tournament. Lemley came in at the top of the lineup against Sarah Beth Allen. So as we go down through, this is the first time for these players seeing. And one of the cardinal rules as a catcher is that you have to make sure that your head stays forward with the ball in the dirt. And as she turned her head, she wore that one.
Kylie Aldridge, who is a tremendous catcher.
And she's laughing. She's not sobbing. Luckily, she is crying. But as a ball goes in the dirt, your job as a catcher is to make sure that your head goes forward, chin down, to protect your neck. And as this ball goes in the dirt, she turns her head, which makes her very vulnerable to wear it on the neck, which is exactly what happened. She's been so good behind the plate.
Wow. Kristen Mathis, the athletic trainer, got out there very quickly, and Emma Lemley gives her a big hug.
And just remember, catchers watching at home, you never turn your eyes or your head away from the ball in the dirt. Always chin down. It protects the throat. That's why they make the front of the, they're like a hockey mask. And because of that big chin area at the bottom, as soon as you look down, you protect that neck. I think everybody's played Little League that has the dangly plastic piece that hangs below to protect the neck. But as a pitcher or as a catcher, you have to make sure that that head never turns side to side with a pitch coming in.
Wow. Just one warm-up throw, and she says, I'm ready to go.
She is going to have a bruise in the morning.
That's some scary stuff, but good to see that Aldridge is okay. One to Hunter. Now the 2-2 with another run in and 2 outs. Into right field. McMillan grabs it. That ends the inning. Last chance.
Tegan Brunk.
Not an expected pinch hitter, but here at the end of the game, you've got so many players that have not been able to get it done, so you bring in a player who's been waiting for an opportunity. Brunk, this is just her 30th at bat on the season.
Has seen her playing time go down. Started 40 games at shortstop last year. Vukadinovich is back in right field, replacing Connolly here in the 7th. 6 runs on 6 hits and 1 error for Georgia Tech. 3 of those 6 hits, home runs. 1 run on just 2 hits for the Hokies. Both of those hits from Emma Ritter, who is on deck.
This is a very important at bat. You do not want to hand the bat to Emma Ritter with an out. So this disciplined approach, important.
Taking all the way. Michaela Caulfield starting her 3rd inning of work after relieving Sophia Voiles. And what a job they have done keeping one of the most potent offenses, not just in the league, but in the country, in check.
The only team with more home runs than Miami of Ohio in the country. And so many long balls, and tonight, quiet.
Off the glove of Caulfield, but she recovers and throws her out. What a play.
Caulfield has nerves of steel. So good in the circle, coming in as a freshman, giving Georgia Tech great innings, but also great defense off the pitching rubber.
5'3" freshman. 1 out for Ritter, who has been the entire offense, hitting-wise, for this team. That's it. Scored on a sacrifice fly back in the 3rd. That has been all of it for the Hokies.
When we expected Georgia Tech to hit the ball, we didn't expect them to be quiet. I think the thing that stuns us is the fact that Virginia Tech has been unable to respond.
They are 0 for 12 with runners on base. Pete DeMoore's team had owned the Yellow Jackets, winning 9 in a row against them until tonight. Ritter finally delivers a home run for Virginia Tech, and now she has all 3 of their hits, that one for a home run.
I mean, Emma Ritter is giving a clinic on how to hit tonight, and the rest of the team has forgotten to show up. This is another perfect example on how to attack a pitch on the white of the plate.
Her 14th home run of the year, pardon me.
But I like this approach by Georgia Tech coach Aaron Dixon heading to the circle. Caulfield in the circle has done a very good job, but you could see that her control was a little bit off as she faced Ritter. So now just calming down the emotions of the freshman in the circle so that she can attack and try to get 2 more outs and advance this Georgia Tech team to the semis.
Aaron Dixon, the first-year pitching coach, having a conversation with her freshman. We talked to Eileen Morales. She said that Caulfield loves big moments, and she has stood up to them so far in this quarterfinal. Still has a 4-run lead, 1 out, but still a
The left fielder, number 6, Eddie Green.
potent part of the lineup, even though they have done nothing hitting-wise. Here's Addie Green. Caulfield struck her out the first time she faced her tonight. And it's Addie Green with the sac fly RBI that drove in Ritter for the only run of the game, back in the third. The Georgia Tech bullpen, by the way, is quiet. Don't see anybody up there.
And for a pitcher that loves pressure-filled situations, she should be sitting right in her wheelhouse, because they're, even with the 4-run lead, you feel like Georgia Tech is starting to press a little bit.
3-1. Green pops it up. 2 away. Squeezed by Black.
Great response by Caulfield to come right at Green. Jam her up. Put her team within 1 out of getting the win.
97, Cameron Fagan.
Cameron Fagan up with 2 away. Eileen Morales, who is a tremendous softball player at Georgia Tech, trying to get them back into the semifinals. Was on an ACC championship team when she played. Fagan takes the strike. They're down to their last one. Not fielded cleanly, but still able to flip over in time. Dominique throws it over to
but that one was way gone.
Just the 5th home run of the year for Gailey. But both teams have had major trouble getting base hits with runners in scoring position in this game. Two, 1. Oh, wow. Aldridge saved another one.
That is incredible. It's almost like she's like one of the Incredibles, like the mom, the stretchy one. I mean, to be able to go up and get that pitch, it is held on to way too long. I mean, she jumped for it off of her knees.
Saved Mazzarone from a wild pitch.
And I think sometimes as a catcher, you can be vulnerable when you do put a knee down. But back there behind the plate, Aldridge typically keeps that knee down and is able to get up and get those pitches that typically should find the backstop.
Full count with 2 out and 2 on. Mazzarone calls time.
And the reason that time is so important is because of the action clock. You can see it to the left of your screen. A pitcher only has 20 seconds to be able to separate those hands and move into the pitch.
Emma Mazzarone, the true freshman from right here in North Carolina, strikes out. Gailey strands a couple of runners.